Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Blitz Zer0 series. This is episode 13, where in the last episode we just finished off the DLC days. We just finished in the last episode of the Lilith DLC, and then we also did the Tina DLC before that. Some of the stuff I got is over here, and there, yeah. We got a retainer, a B shield, I believe a new little Eevee, a Deepa that I got from a chest, Top Nia, a fire, and of course B shield, I believe a new explosive fastball. And we also got the toothpick, Bada Boom, a social conference call, a fire and a slide conference call, that's really cool. Some Lyudas, Maggie, Hammerbuster, all of those sort of stuff. I believe, oh yes, I also got the Lady Fist off camera. Another thing. Then some new shields like Retainer, Neogenator, stuff like that. So, okay. So, moving on. What we did is we went to Hammerlock and we got the mission Cacophonous Lure so we can fight Haderax. Going into the Rising Deep, if you have the Toothpick and the Retainer shield on, you can jump really high and you can run really fast. This is a good way to traverse in this arena just by running around or throughout the actual boss fight. You can't, however, run like this fast in the base game or in any of the DLCs. It is only for this map, which is a bit unfortunate. Before we actually get into this boss fight, there was a couple places where you can go to not take damage. First off is the first sort of tunnel straight to the right. You go into that invisible wall right next to that first rock there, so you won't actually take damage. The only downside is that there will be a little worm kind of spitting at you, but it won't actually damage you. It might every now and then. Second position is up here. You can honestly jump up here. I just saved my position for the commander mod, but what you can do is when the fight is starting, you can jump on this bottom rock below me and you can parkour your way up there, which you can also fight there. It's heading straight up west. The only downside is when Haderax falls down, so you can actually hit his the crit spot in his mouth, it is sometimes hard to hit that. You have to run and make sure you do that, and throughout my testing, I am not fast enough to reach there in time to get him in one pass. And this is the setup I'll use: the Toothpick, the Fire, and the Slag Conference Call, then a Slag Lyuda, then I use the Retainer for movement, then the B Shield, then I'll switch over to a Quasar. Any form of grenade doesn't do anything. I'll switch out my comm for a sniper comm, and then I'll switch over to a fire bone of the ancients. The deception damage won't really do much, but you know, I'll always get bonus fire damage, which is important. Want to make sure our retainer and toothpick is equipped so we get the high speed, and we're going to run to that first position straight off to the right. We're going to interact with that, and as we fall, that's right, it's the first time, so we gotta listen to the cutscene first, which isn't a long cutscene at all. Then with that there, we're gonna run on this first slanted jump on the second rock, then jump on the third rock. Then what we're going to do is go in between the two small rocks, just about here, so now we will not be able to take damage. Then we switch over from our return to the B shield, and then we can start using any slagging weapons. In this fight, I use the conference call. However, in the later fights and just from off testing, I tend to use Lyuda for slagging a lot more. Haderax usually has a pattern when it comes to this. However, I'm not the best one to say what the patterns are. However, he kind of goes in a circular pattern with the geysers in the floor. However, when it comes to this bit, when he's on the westmost geyser or whatever, if you have any form of high critting weapon, i.e. the Lady Fist, after you slag him, that deals a lot of damage. However, I did not do that in time. I am not that fast, and so we just swap back and forth with our Lyuda to our Fire Conference Call just to deal enough damage for him to fall over and open up his mouth to show his weak spot. That is the key to this fight. It's fairly simple, and I'm just not all that great at it. At this point, I go over back, get some ammo, then teleport back. A couple times I have tried this though. The Haderax will think that you left the arena, and here at this example here, he thinks you left the arena and he just ditches out. It's like, alright, so now at this point you gotta save quit and you gotta try this again, which is super annoying. And with the input in, press interact, then I teleported back to my saved selection so I could try this again. This time, I do kill him. When Haderax spawns in, I start slagging towards his top crit spot with the slag conference call, not being able to slag him because that obviously it didn't work because it's a raid boss and they're hard to slag. Then when he comes up the second time, I go into my deception and throw a magic missile. I can through kunai, but it won't reach him because of the wall that I'm in. The kunais won't go forward and hit the boss, so I can't use death mark on him. So I just go back and forth, sometimes using my deception. But whenever I slag him, I use my fire conference call to hit towards his crit spot or just to hit his body in general. Now in later runs, I do use my slag Lyuda, which I'm using right here, to slag him for greater slag chance. And then I switch over once again to the fire conference call, and sometimes I mistakenly switch over to my toothpick to deal some damage. And there we go, he falls down there. Now I freeze. I freeze here. This is usually just the only time I'll ever do this. And then of course I use my commander mod to freeze and to just teleport over there. Then I switch over to my slag weapon to slag him up for a second. Then switch over to my fire conference call and just decimate him. Just like that. Now, I'm only doing this once for this video. If you're doing it by yourself and you're on the commander mod, you definitely can. However, I will put in an extra clip of me fighting him, you know, legitly using the first little thing there. But I haven't have a lot of skins in this game, so I usually look around and see if he drops any cool shields or any skins that I don't have, then I use those. Then opening up the chest, I have an easy mode shield. I never realized this was in the game, I totally forgot about it, and this is like the main sort of shield we'll be using from now on instead of the black hole. I also get the hard carry as you can see, and however, no pitchfork. Oh no, I'm sorry, peak opener. So that's what we'll be using every so often. I'll just transfer that over to my other character, or I'll just farm one. But that is how I beat Haderax. The one time just to complete the mission. Next, go over to your retainer and your toothpick, run around, see if you have any other legendaries on the floor, and pick up some extra currency. Then you can farm this over and over again, or you can just turn this in and just be done with it. Now back to the main story. After I completed all the DLCs I wanted to do, I'll go back to my main setup using, you know, the Ruby, the Little Eevee, the Spy Comm, all that other stuff. And I never changed my skill tree, and I started the main quest line, i.e. the best minion ever. Now I take on Claptrap, I'm gonna make my way through the other camps, kill some enemies, do all that other stuff, kill Boom Boom decently. Not my best performance, but you know, watermelon coleslaw, you know. After killing some more bandits every so often, I make my way towards Flynn's ship. At this point, I could just skip a lot of these enemies because I don't need to, so I just, you know, TP over and just, you know, do what I usually do. I save Claptrap and I make my way to mobbing a lot of these enemies. Now this is the part where I gain my practice back, because between the two clips that I've just shown, it's been a matter of 4 days, so I get my practice back from these guys. For the Captain Flynn fight, I went to go in straight towards the Marauders and the other bandits, just so they don't, you know, whittle down my shield when they're not supposed to, you know, because it's bad. While I'm waiting for Flynn to get down and come towards me, I just spend my time, you know, kind of dodging the bullets, kind of trying to aggro him as much as I can, and just make sure I don't die. With Flynn now on the floor, I introduce an interesting strat. I go into my deception, kunai, explode with unforeseen, do that again, throw a couple of these grenades down, and then boom, Flint and Steel is dead. And look at that, money. And it's gone. With me now at 3 horns, I kill some bullymongs, get part for a car, take a few minutes to decide what sort of paint job I want to do, then I make my way towards Sanctuary. Kill the door guy because, you know, it's tradition in the Borderlands community, and make my way to find Corporal Reese. After making my way to Sanctuary finally, I contemplate on whether or not an assault rifle or a shotgun from this weird guy, then I make my way towards Scooter. After having a lovely conversation with him, only lasting 0.2 seconds, I grab his drug rocks, then I make my way to the drug guy. After going inside the main weird building, I grab an echo recorder to find out that my best Wilhelm Roland man got kidnapped by this weird guy called the Firehawk. That's kind of a dumb name that you ask me, but anyway, I digress and I make my way to Frostburn Canyon. Coming into Frostburn Canyon, I have a pleasant discussion with the locals and the natives, if you count bugs as natives, I guess. Then I make my way, coming past the Bloodshot signs, until I get close to the Firehawk. Oh damn, she obliterated those guys. I wonder who the Firehawk is. Wait a minute, I've seen that person before. No way! It's a demon. After Diablo's girlfriend confesses to her problems, I go ahead and just kill all these lunatics trying to kill me. For those following along, just use your standard mobbing setup and just to spam with either your Little Eevee, your Deepa, or even your low-level Ruby. It will still do damage and heal you. With all of the enemies destroyed, I talk to Lilith, feed her drug addiction, then I make my way to the Magnus Lighthouse to get myself a new Little Eevee. With a new Little Eevee at hand, I make my way to the dust and to complete the quest A Damn Fun Rescue, which I need to kill 5 technicals. I did not show it, but I do have a B shield equipped, which is why you hear this noise. And if you didn't know, you can put on the B shield just to get that extra amp damage without having to worry about your shield break, because you don't have an active shield when you're in the car. Next, I make my way through the Bloodshot Stronghold, killing a lot of the enemies as I need to. Of course, with the mobbing setup, it's not that difficult at all. The main tricky bit is just to make sure not to get overrun, just deal with these enemies one at a time. And if enemies are running away, throw your Quasar Anti-Deception, Hologram, so they can get pulled in by the Singularity, and destroy them as quickly as possible. Going up to the Devil's Sphincter, or whatever the hell it's called, I run around, try to kill some enemies, nearly die, but I make my way to that Magic Mike, and I kill him with a little bit of ease. Now with me finally meeting up with my best Wilhelm Roland man, I ignore everything he says, do what I need to, then I make my way to kill his bully, the Warden. Now with me at the Warden, I switch out my easy mode shield for a B shield, and I keep just about all of the weapons I need to. I'm going to switch over to my Spy comm. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to go into Deception, through a Quasar, through my Kunai, and just use my B shield and my Deepa just to destroy this guy. I could have done it better, but it is what it is. Then I switch over back to my easy mode shield, then I mob out the rest of these enemies. With that completed, I walk in on Lilith and Roland having a private discussion, and then I talk with him, skip his dialogue, and then I make my way towards the Tundra Express. Now at the Tundra Express, I walk along, get all ignite all 3 of our kids, and I almost die, but luckily I just used my Topia to get through it. I make my way towards everyone's favorite character, Tiny Tina. With the task at hand, I make my way mobbing all these Tundra Patrol guys. Well, mainly just that Tundra Patrol, then I make my way to killing all the other bandits, dodge the train, luckily enough, then I get the big boombas, the badonkadonks, if you know what I mean. Now I would show the Wilhelm Fight, however I forgot to record it because I paused because I had something to do. He died very quickly. I just threw my magic missile, put on the B shield, and just destroyed him with the Deepa. That's it. Nothing. Coming back to Sanctuary to find that this was all just a trap and a scam, I head back to Town Square, push all the buttons I need to, go to Roland when he's now pretty much losing the leg, then I try to find Lilith. Now at this point, I always wondered where Lilith actually was. Then I froze the game, and went to her supposed spot, and she's just sitting there in midair. So yeah, for all of you guys who kind of have to deal with the same thing, there's that. But I make my way to the fridge anyway, driving through 3 horns, killing a little bit of bandits, entering the fridge finally, killing a few bandits, and make my way out and heading towards Overlook. Now for the Gluttonous Thresher fight, this is actually really cool. Here is that fight. I usually don't need to complete Overlook, but I decided to do this time, and I died a couple times. But after a while, I just managed to destroy these enemies as long as I'm going one enemy at a time. It wasn't that big of a deal. Now we make our way to the Wildlife Preservation Preserve. In UVHM, I don't pick up the mission Doctor's Orders because we already have a better midget farm, so I'm completely skipping that out on this mission. However, we go up to Mordecai, talk to him, then we make our way to the loaders. Now I freeze time and I kill these enemies up until they need to get repaired just because I don't want to deal with it and I'm not that great at it. Then I move over towards Preservation Preserve, then make my way to Bloodwing. The actual Bloodwing fight was actually very annoying. I had a bull loader at the other end just killing me, or shooting at me, breaking my B shield. Then every now and then the Skags would come up and just destroy my shield. To face off against her, I used the B shield, the Maggie, the Fire, and the Slide Conference Call, and of course the Tifa, and the main contestant here was definitely the Maggie, especially after I died a couple times and eventually I got the win. With Bloodwing dead, we take the note and go to Thousand Cuts to meet up with Brick. Completing Brick's initiation process isn't hard at all. The really tougher enemies that eat the badass characters, like the ultimate badass Marauder here, isn't too difficult as long as you can stack up your kill skills, as long as you always have your action skill ready to go for multiple unforeseen blasts. You can beat him no problem. However, if you don't have that, you can also just slag him, use your Quasar to move him around and stun him, or you can use a fastball and your debuff to just brute force your way through it. Not that difficult, it just takes a little bit of that practice. After you give Brick the letter, you'll open the door and you can fight your way through a very small army of loader bots. And after Brick kills the badass loader, cursing you into oblivion, you're fine. You're fine. It's fine. Heading back to Sanctuary, you could farm up to launches if you want to from Roland. I really don't care, I just wanted to do this anyway. Then we finally move on to Overlook. Once traveling to Opportunity, I merge my weapons together, my little Eevee, to get the glitch. Then I make my way to killing the Handsome Jack. And with the body double dead, I have to respawn, and I have to little grab his amulet thing, then I go over to the 4 kiosks, then I make my way out of Opportunity. 20-minute adventure. With that done, I head back to Sanctuary, and we are on our way to kill the bunker. I grab Claptrap, and I make my way back to Thousand Cuts. There are constructors, and certain mobbing I have to do to pass through the doors, i.e. the first constructor, the 2 turrets, the final badass constructor to open up the doors to the bunker. I beat all of those characters, no problem. Now finally onto the bunker. Before we have to kill him, we have to kill 11 of the auto cannons. So to do this, I just go into my Deception, Kunai, and kill him with any foreign weapon. No problem. I do this all 11 times. And with the final autocannon destroyed, it is now time to kill the bunker. The two first playthroughs, I decided to use a Jacob shotgun, and you know what? I'm going to do the same thing this time. Let's watch that boar. And with that, we conclude this episode of the Zero playthrough. I will pick up next time. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you really liked it, make sure to sub. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya! Also, to make sure to check out my website, it's almost done. Yay!